Tom, thank you. Well, let's speak to Gidi Greenstein, who served as secretary of the Israeli delegation to the peace negotiations with the PLO under Prime Minister Ehud Barak, and is also an author of the book Insights, Peacemaking in the Oslo Process, 30 Years and Counting. Gidi, it's good to talk to you. I think you heard there what Tom was saying, and critics and skeptics have said, haven't they, that this is a symbolic gesture. It may potentially make some difference, but do you think that this declaration from the UK will change anything?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. I do think that what will matter is what is the content and the context of this declaration. Are we looking at a 3-4 sentence statement that the UK or other countries recognize the Palestinian Authority as a state, or are we looking at a much longer statement that actually offers some of the parameters that are essential in order to move toward the permanent status of Israeli-Palestinian relations? I do want to remind the audience here that we have had 2 American presidents that put forward outlines about what we call permanent status: President Clinton and President Trump. President Clinton in the year 2000, President Trump in January 2020. And my philosophy is anything that exists in both ideas is legit for speaking about the future of Israeli-Palestinian relations. I'll give one example. The previous speaker spoke about the territory. I think it's very important to mention that the future borders between Israel and Palestine will be based on UN Security Council Resolution 242, which of course has 2 interpretations, in English and in French. But the point is that Israel and the Palestinians and Arab countries have agreed that this is the foundation of the territorial arrangements between the parties. Another statement that could be very important to be made is for the British government to acknowledge that once a Palestinian state comes into being, then Palestinian refugees can go back to Palestine. This is their state. Therefore, the issue of the just resolution of the refugee problem is largely addressed within Palestine, and that there will not be a UN Relief and Works agency within Palestine or anywhere else once a Palestinian state comes into being. That point, which sounds technical, will serve to alleviate a lot of the concerns on the Jewish and the Israeli side when it comes to a statement. People say it's sort of an open card for Palestinian demands and expectations for Israel. So the answer is no. Once the British government makes a statement about Palestinian statehood, it should also establish the basic parameters for resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
What do Israelis feel right now about what's happening in Gaza?
So first of all, I think in Gaza right now, probably across the board, there is a sense of a failure and a collapse of the current strategy of the Israeli government. Whether people supported it or opposed it, it's clear that it's collapsing, and we are at an inflection point. We're at an inflection point where the military effort did not produce the results that were expected. The humanitarian aid, which was designed to feed the population, but at the same time keep pressure on Hamas, effectively collapsed in terms of achieving its goals. So we are now at an inflection point, which may actually open the Israeli government to further flexibilities that may be required in order to end the war in Gaza. But if I need to summarize it for your audience, we are at an inflection point. This is the sense in Israel across the board, left and right, those that support the government, oppose the government. Everybody understands that something new is going to have to be brought forward.
Okay.